Hello everyone! Wild garlic is in the season, and a few days ago we found a great spot with plenty of it. So today is time to use it. Halibut with wild garlic crust, kohlrabi remoulade, bell pepper puree, apples and dill sauce. And let's start with my puree. I have here few bell peppers, so I just put them on the tray and I bake them inside the oven. So the peppers will take at least 20 to 30 minutes, and in meantime I can make my kohlrabi remoulade. Normally you do remoulade from celeriac, but I think kohlrabi will fit more this dish.
So the first thing I need to do is to peel it. Make sure you peel it properly, because the problem with kohlrabi is that the color of outside and inside is almost the same, so there is big chance you leave the skin on. Then I cut it in half and slice nice thin slices on mandolin. Be careful, the kohlrabi is very hard, so it can be sometimes difficult to do it if your mandolin is not sharp. So in that case I would recommend to use some guard. And then you just finish it with knife. I prepare a bowl with cold water and little bit of lemon juice, and I put sliced kohlrabi in.
I leave it inside for around 5 minutes and the kohlrabi will get nicely soft. And if we do remoulade, we need to start with a little bit of mayo.
I separate one egg and then I start adding my oil slowly in. I am not using any vinegar or any mustard at the start, just egg yolk and oil, because I want to add my mustard at the end, so I know how it's gonna taste. I put a little bit of my mayo on the side because I'm not sure how much I need. If you leave everything inside and then you put kohlrabi and then you find out it's too much, you cannot take it back. So I leave roughly half inside, I squeeze all my kohlrabi as much as I can and put it inside the bowl. I mix it a little bit and now I will add all my seasoning: salt, lemon juice and mustard. There is no recipe, guys, do it as you like. If you like mustard, put a lot. If you don't like mustard, just don't put that much.
And the last thing I want to put in is finely chopped shallots. I have 3 shallots here left at home, so half I use for this and the rest I chop roughly for my sauce and for the puree.
If you don't like shallots, you can skip this part, but I will add it. I do just half shallot and cut it as fine as I can. Mix it with remoulade and the rest of the shallots I chop roughly and leave it on the side.
And I put it like that inside the fridge until I need it.
My peppers are baked enough, so I transfer them in the mixing bowl, cover them with cling film and leave it like this for at least 10 minutes.
And for my next garnish, I want to make easy wild garlic leaves. You will need sugar, butter, plain flour and egg white, the same amount. So I do 50 grams, 50 grams, 50 grams and 50 grams. Easy.
I start with blending melted butter, sugar and egg whites. Mix it just for a few seconds so you don't end up with meringues, and then you can add your garlic leaves. Now you want to mix it properly, at least for a few minutes, so the wild garlic spreads nicely. At the end you can add your plain flour, blend it once more and your mix is ready to bake. I have here this silicone mold with leaf pattern, but you can of course use any mold you like. Make sure you spread it nicely and cleanly so you end up with nice pattern. And I will bake it like this, 170 degrees Celsius, around 7 to 8 minutes.
And in meantime, let's finish the pepper puree. And at this stage, you can peel them very easily.
Just make sure to separate all the skin. If you leave some seeds inside, that's fine. I overcook them a little bit, so the process is a little bit more difficult, but if you cook a little bit less, it's gonna be super easy. And after 8 minutes inside the oven, the leaves are ready. So I just take them out of the mold, leave them to cool down, and they will be ready for plating. And now let's finish the puree. I start with a little bit of oil, medium heat, and my roughly chopped shallots. I give them a little bit of color, and then you can add your peeled peppers. At this stage, I will add some white wine and season it with salt and pepper. Before you blend it, make sure you reduce it down, because if you don't do it properly, you end up with bell pepper soup. Before you put it in the blender, it should look like this. At the end, I add a little bit of cold butter for flavor, shine and texture, and the puree is ready. I will transfer it inside my plastic bottle and it will be ready for plating.
So the crisps are done, the puree is done, and now it's time to start with my dill sauce, and at the same time I will make apple dices for my garnish.
To add some spices, I will use this tea filter with bay leaves, allspice and black pepper. I will cook it inside and then I take it out at the end. You can also use some tin cloth, but I didn't have any, so I use this. I start with good amount of butter, shallots, spices, and I sweat it like this on medium heat for few minutes. Then you can add your white wine and reduce it by half. And in meantime, I can start with my apples for the garnish. I'm using Granny Smith, they are nicely sour, so I peel them first, slice them on the mandolin, and then I can cut nice dices with knife. If you do something like this, always take it like a challenge and try to cut it as good as you can. Start slowly and then over time you become faster and faster. White wine is reduced enough, so I will add my fish stock, and again reduced roughly by half. To finish my apples, I will need chives, lemon juice, salt and olive oil. I mix all together and my easy apple garnish is ready for the plating. And now let's finish the sauce. The fish stock is reduced enough, so I will add my cream, bring it to the boil, and then I will add fresh dill and cook it for 1 minute. Don't do it less than 1 minute because otherwise the dill will not cook enough, but don't do it too much longer because otherwise you lose all the color. And again, there is no exact recipe for this, guys. As the base, you want to use 1 part of wine, 1 part of cream and 3 parts of stock. Little bit of spices and roughly 1 shallot. Don't stress about every gram. Watch how it's done and then adjust taste and thickness as you go. At the end, just blend all together, strain it, and now you can check your seasoning and thickness. You can add a little bit salt, you can add a little bit lemon juice, and if your sauce is too thick, you can just add a little bit of stock. It's always good idea, reduce it a little bit more before blending, because at the end you can add a little bit stock and the sauce is perfect. If you don't reduce it enough, then it's difficult to fix.
And now, king of the show, halibut with wild garlic crust. And first I need to start with the crust. You will need breadcrumbs, wild garlic, salt and olive oil. I'm not using any recipe. I will mix olive oil with wild garlic and then I will keep adding breadcrumbs until I get the right consistency. This is how you should cook, guys. Know what's your goal and just go for it. Not just to follow step by step in the recipe.
So you start with your wild garlic and olive oil like you would do some pesto and blend it to fine paste. I transfer it into my mixing bowl, season it with a little bit of salt, and now it's time for breadcrumbs. I just put a little bit, mix it, add more, mix it, until I'm happy with the consistency. At the end you can finish it a little bit with the hands, but you should end up with something like this. For my fish today I'm using halibut, but I would say you can use any fish you like. I just cut few pieces that will fit my plate.
You always ask me what I do with all my trimmings, and the answer is simple: my food inspector. Gently, gently. Good. And if you are someone who would like to learn fine dining cooking and plating in nicely structured way with my personal help, so you can understand important fundamentals, so you can be creative with the plating and taste, check out the link below this video and apply for my personal coaching. I will get back to you and we can unlock your culinary potential together.
And now let's finish the fish. I season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I put my wild garlic crust on the top. Make it nice and tidy, and then you can transfer it on your baking tray. And I bake it like this, 200 degrees Celsius, around 7 to 8 minutes. If you have bigger fish, you do more. If you have smaller fish, you can do less. Of course, you can have different oven, so this can be a little bit tricky. So the best would be to experiment a little bit and find out what's the best for your setup.
And now we have finally everything ready. So let's do the plating. I will make two different plating options. The second one you can see with all my bonus content on my Patreon page. Check out the link below the video.
I start with my halibut with beautiful wild garlic crust. Then I do 2 nice quenelles of my kohlrabi remoulade. Little bit of fresh apples with chives. Keep in mind that the remoulade and apples are room temperature, not hot, not cold. Few dots of bell pepper puree. This should be warm, also with the sauce and the fish. Then are coming my wild garlic leaves. And to finish everything, fresh dill and my dill sauce. So what do you think, guys? Will you try it at home? It can look a bit complicated, but if you follow the steps in the video, you can easily make it and impress your friends and family.
And if you want to learn another fine dining recipe with wild garlic, check out this video and learn how you can make my wild garlic soup at home. Thank you for watching, guys, and I see you soon.